little bit because it's just about time for the Monday Mindset Movement. Yeah. All right, good deal. Hey, y'all, if you're joining us this morning, you got to get your energy up. This is how we start the week. This is how we start the Monday. We get the jams moving. We get the shoulders moving. We get the blood flowing because this is how we do it in the Monday Mindset Movement. Yeah, we get started, we get moving, we get rocking, we get rolling. Yeah, we get flowing. I'm feeling like a 1987 rap vibe now. We get moving, we get flowing, we get going, we get, you'll be knowing. I don't know, I'm just making stuff up. Here we go. Hey, how you doing, Aquarius lady? Good to see you this morning. Good to see you this morning. I know some of y'all are muted, but you're laughing at me in your spirit. Hey, it's okay. That's how we do it. Starting this Monday morning with a little bit of joy in your heart and a little bit of motivation in your spirit. A little bit of dance in your spirit. How about that? Let's get a little bit of shoulder moving. If you're on Instagram, you're seeing me. You see, I got the shoulder moving. There we go. Yes, 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 yes. Yep, we're about to get moving. We're about to get moving. We're about 20 seconds out from the Monday Mindset Movement. When you get that little high pitch, that's how you know I'm energetic, Wyman. Just so you know. Yeah, the movement. So glad y'all are here this morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, everybody. What's up? It is the top of the hour, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Eastern Daylight Time, whatever time it is on the eastern coast of the United States of America. I'm hanging out here in the state of Maryland. My name is Robert Kennedy III, RK3. That's me. You are hanging out with us on the Monday Mindset Movement, 15 to 20 minutes of elevation, motivation, and inspiration designed to get you rocking and rolling through your week. We want to make sure that you have something to take with you, something to lift you up, something to keep you thinking, something to change how you operate. So this week we're talking about what we call the end of the year, or we're talking about the end of the quarter or the beginning of the quarter. I'm talking about several things, but let me ask you a question really quickly. Are you looking for balance in your life? But what if you could accomplish more in 90 days than you ever have before? What if you could shift your level of achievement in 3 months or less? We're going to talk about quite a few things this morning, so I'm looking forward to this show this morning. So glad that y'all are here. Hey, Nathalie. Hey, Wyman. Hey, Paul. Hey, Tisdale. Tiana, good to see you this morning. Aquarius, good to see you this morning. Austin, good to see you. Royal Rizone, good to see you. Or Royal Rizone, Arizona. Good to see you this morning. Mary DeMitchell, so glad to see all of you this morning on the Monday Mindset Movement. Do me a favor, if you want to get in touch with us, if you want to go live with us, text Go Live to 240-557-8679. Text Go Live to 240-55-STORY. 55-STORY. All right. And here we go. Oh, last thing. If you want to get in touch with me, just go to getintouchwithrk3.com. All right. Here we go. We're about to get started. Boom. Let's do this thing. Yes, we are here on this Monday morning. If you want to join us, you can join us. I would love to have you join us in the Monday Mindset Movement group. Go to rk3live.com/3M community, or you could just go to Facebook and search for the Monday Mindset Movement. Let's jump in this morning. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? We're talking about the end of your year. We're talking about the end of the first quarter and moving into the second quarter. Some of y'all, I don't know how it just like flies by so fast, right? You look up and it's the end of March and we're just about to hit April and you're like, "Oh my goodness. Where did all this time go? Did I reach my goals? Did I accomplish anything?" You start looking back and you're saying, "What did I accomplish? What did I achieve? Am I on track? If I had this goal for the entire year, am I quarter of the way there or am I slacking behind?" If you're in business and you're like, "Okay, my goal this year is to achieve $500,000 in revenue," and you're only at like 30,000, you're like, "Oh my gosh." This is that time where people start to freak out a little bit, right? But never fear. It's not too late to change. It's not too late to pivot. It's not too late to make a difference. It's not too late to catch up. It's not too late. You can start today. Today's your day one. Today's your day one. Well, listen, let me back up a second here. I remember when I was starting in personal coaching, a little bit of life coaching ish type of thing, but more business, coaching small business owners. And there was something that I used to share with my small business owners that I was coaching. And I'm sorry, y'all, I got it wrong. I got it wrong. There was this thing that I used to share with people all the time. And now these days I think about it and I had it totally incorrect. Here's what I used to share. I used to share this thing when you start out in coaching, they share with you this wheel, which has the 7 different areas of your life, right? There's this wheel, and Zig Ziglar had this thing with this wheel with 7 areas of life: career, financial, spiritual, social, family, physical, and intellectual. Those are the 7 areas that you take care of, right? Those are the 7 areas that comprise your life. And here's what I used to teach. I used to say, okay, you've got these 7 areas, and you got to take care of all 7 of them, and you need to seek balance in every area. And if you don't seek balance, it's kind of like this tire riding down the road, and it's a bumpy ride. It's not even. It's not smooth because you're paying attention to one area more than the other. And I used to use this example, and it was a really good story, except it wasn't true. It wasn't totally true, right? Because the issue is that balance, when we think about balance, and when I ask people about balance or what they think balance is, I get that balance is, I hear that balance is when you're still, when everything is even, when everything is equal. And if we think about standing up, and we think about balance maybe standing up, we kind of say that balance is when all of the forces that are acting on you are equal. You have everything pushing on you, and you're pushing back on that stuff at an equal rate. And very rarely in life do we ever have forces acting on us equally. We've always got something going on. We've always got something pushing on us. We've always got a financial challenge. We've always got a spiritual challenge. We've always got a family or a physical challenge. We've always got something that's pushing more than the other. So it's not wrong. I don't want to say it's incorrect to seek balance. But the truth is that true balance is really not possible. In fact, here's what happens. Growth comes from tension. Growth comes from tension and not sameness in every single area of our lives. Think about it this way. Even if you were to devote the same amount of time, the same exact amount of time in your life, in each area of your life daily, you would still not achieve exact balance because the impact in each area of your life would be very different. Yeah, I've got 3 children, and there are times where one of my children needs more attention than the other. Right? It's nearly impossible for me to spend the same amount of time with each of my children. And even if I were to do that, one child would receive it differently than the other. You see, I'm never going to be able to spend the same amount of time and achieve the same amount of impact in each area of my life. So, what do I do with that? What do I do with that? How do I handle that? What does that even mean? When you talk, Robert, about achievement or accomplishment, how are you telling me that I'm never going to be able to achieve balance in these areas of my life, but you're telling me about accomplishment? Well, here's why I'm sharing this. Here's why I'm sharing this. If we're not going to achieve it, or since we can't achieve it, or because we can't achieve it, how do we leverage it? How do we leverage it? Well, several years ago, I was struggling to meet my goals because I was focused on really achieving goals in each of these areas of my life. And it's not wrong to have goals. I don't want to imply that. Right? I was looking at achieving goals in each of these areas of my life. And here's what was happening. I was struggling to meet all of the different goals because I had these 7 or 10 different areas, depending on who you talk to. I had all these different areas that I was looking to accomplish in. And it was hard to focus in and achieve goals in all of these areas equally at the same time. I mean, here's what happens. We start out our year and we're like, we want to accomplish this goal, we want to accomplish this goal, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to do that. And we have like 7 or 8 things on our list. And then we get to a certain point where we realize that we're not accomplishing all of them, or we're accomplishing the majority of them, we're not accomplishing successfully. And so then we begin to feel a little bit guilty, or we begin to feel like failures, and we begin to beat ourselves up. And I was going through that process until I came across this book by a gentleman by the name of Brian L. Moran. And this book was called The 12-Week Year. And the premise was, if you were to focus on one thing for 12 weeks, you would see massive changes in your life. Right? That was the goal. The whole idea was we typically set goals for a year out or a year ahead. And if you were to focus on one thing, is what he's saying, for 12 weeks, for 90 days, you would accomplish a whole lot. So I decided that I was going to put this to the test. And here's how I operate. I very rarely do I say I'm going to do something and I just kind of do it undercover or do it by myself. What I've learned to do is if I'm going to do something, I invite people on that journey. Right? I'll brag on myself for a second. That's how I've achieved some successes in my life or in some of the spaces that I've been in, just because I've invited other people to do it right along with me. Right? Not because I'm great, but because I know that if I'm by myself, I'm going to squirrel. Right? I'm going, okay, something else, right? I'm going to go to the other side. Right? Something new is going to catch my attention. I'm going to get distracted. That's just me. So my safety valve is to invite other people to help me focus. Okay? Tip for you, if you've never done that, go ahead and do that. Right? So what I did was I said, what do I want to focus on? And at this point, I wanted to focus on writing or creating content. And so I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write every day for 12 weeks. Right? At that point, I was focusing on blogging and creating newsletters and content like that. I said, I'm going to write every day for 12 weeks. So I told a bunch of people that that's what I was going to do. And they were like, yeah, I'm going to see if I can focus on doing something every day for 12 weeks as well. And I formed a Facebook community around that. And so here's what happened. Was I perfect at writing every day for 12 weeks? No, I was not. Okay. If we think about 90 days, I did about 83 of those days. Okay. So I missed about 7 days. I fell off and I got back on a few times. But here's what happened. In those 12 weeks or in those 90 days, I created more written content than I had over the last 3 years combined. Right? I was able to lock in to a specific space. And here's the thing, if I was seeking to achieve balance in all of the different areas of my life at that time, I wouldn't have been able to focus in that area. Right? So here's how life works. Life isn't like you've got to have the same amount of time, the same amount of impact, the same amount of balance in all of the areas at the same time. It simply means that there are times where you're going to have to prioritize something more in order to achieve what you need to. And then once you have achieved, then you assess, evaluate, and you look back and say, okay, where am I? What's the thing? What's that area that I need to lean into a little bit more right now? So you see, I accomplished something amazing over the course of 12 weeks. I wrote every day for about 12 weeks. I leaned into a specific area for 12 weeks. Would my life overall be successful if I were to do that same thing at the expense of other things over the course of a year or 2 years? I don't know if it would be successful or not. I know it would be different, right? But I want you to ask yourself this question. I want you to ask yourself this question. What if I were to lean into something for 12 weeks? So we've got the end of the first quarter coming up. My goodness, this weekend coming up is the start of April. So if from April, May, and June, if that 12-week period, if that 90-day period, what if I were to lean into something? What if I were to lean into my family? What if I were to lean into focusing on my family or doing something specific for my family every day for those 90 days? What if I were to lean into creating YouTube videos? Okay. Let's say that's something that I want to do in my business. What if I were to lean into creating a video every day for those 12 weeks? What if I were to lean into making 5 cold calls a day? Yeah, I know some of y'all hate cold calls. Not my favorite either, right? What if I were to lean into that for 90 days? What if I were to lean into showing up on a live stream or in a clubhouse room every day for 90 days? What would happen? What would that mean for my life? What would that mean for my business? What if I were to show up at my best? What if I were to show up like I expected to win every day for 90 days in one area? Would that make an impact or would that make a difference in my space? You see, it's not wrong to seek balance, right? As we talked about, it's not wrong to seek balance. Just don't expect that balance to be forever, because balance, there's a myth. Balance isn't this thing. Balance is something that you're constantly fighting for. Just like a plane is always fighting to stay on course. There are forces that are acting on that plane throughout the entirety of its journey. And the pilot's job is to keep that plane moving in the direction that it's intended. Right? If you think about a tightrope walker, there's a story about this tightrope walker that had the ends of his rope strung between the two sides of Niagara Falls, and he would tightrope walk all the way across the falls. Okay, he didn't achieve balance. Yes, we say that he was balanced, but he didn't achieve balance. The entire way, he's fighting the forces. He's fighting the force of gravity. He's fighting the force of wind. He's fighting all of these different forces the entirety of this journey, right? He's fighting all of that stuff. But the way that he moves, the way that he achieves, the way that he accomplishes is by continuing to move forward. Continue to move forward. As a matter of fact, there's this quote that's on my screen right now. It says, "Life is like riding a bicycle. To find your balance, you must keep moving." That's Albert Einstein. You got to keep moving. And what I want to encourage you to do is over these next 90 days, over the second quarter, I want to encourage you to lock in, to focus in on something that's going to make a difference. Yeah, you can have your goals for the year. Yeah, you can have your things that you want to achieve or accomplish for the year. But if you were to lean into one specific space or one specific area over the next 90 days, what could you accomplish? What could you do? Hey, y'all, listen. Today is Monday. Hey, it's Monday. And we want to shift your mindset to a place of growth. But it doesn't just start and stop on Monday. We want to encourage you to take your Monday mindset into tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. Make a choice. Move. Start a movement. Be a movement. Join me next week, Monday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Eastern Daylight Time for the Monday Mindset Movement on Clubhouse, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. Oh, yes, we got to do this. Are y'all ready to do this? What's your next 90 days going to be? Let's make this happen. I'll see y'all next time. Peace. If you're in Clubhouse, hang out with us. We're going to chat just for a little bit.